Howdy, friends. Welcome into the best show on YouTube. It's Second Take. I'm here with the two biggest personalities in all of sports. You know her for her outstanding mohawk. That's Erin Campbell alongside America's favorite meatball. That's Nicholas Powell. I'm your host, Pete Whitmer. Thank you for joining us during this busy divisional playoff week in the NFL, and I know these two are more than ready to get their picks of the playoff winners and losers, so let's get straight to the debate. Find out what Erin and Nick think about your squad in this week's playoff version of Nick's Picks. The first game on the weekend is an NFC showdown in Atlanta, where Pete Carroll and the Seahawks are traveling cross-country to take on Matty Ice and the Dirty Falcons. Nick, since we named the segment after you, I'll give you the first chance. Tell me who's coming out on top in Atlanta on Saturday night.
Thank you very much, Pete. Listen, this is going to be a very intriguing game. I think a lot of people think the Seahawks are the Seahawks of 2 years ago, and no one's really paying attention to the Falcons. Matt Ryan has absolutely outplayed Russell Wilson the entire season. The Falcons have done everything that we have asked of them in the last month. They haven't lost since December the 4th. I think Matty Ice gets it done at home. I think the Legion of Boom just ain't what it used to be, and Julio Jones is the best wide receiver in the NFL. And here's the clincher for me. I got two of them. One, the Seahawks have been as bad as the Houston Texans on the road this year. Second, the Seahawks have to travel from Seattle to Atlanta, going west-east. We all see teams on the West Coast struggle when they got to travel through 4 time zones. I'm taking the Dirty Birds in the Georgia Dome by 10 over the Seabirds. Bet out the Birds. Falcons win it by 10.
Well, for me, this game is all about defense, defense, defense. Now, we know Earl Thomas is hurt, so the lion's share of this workload is going to fall on the defensive line. Now, week 6 against the Falcons, the defensive line had 4 sacks among them. And in that game, Seattle held Matt Ryan to 11 of 16 with 62 yards. They held the Falcons to just 3 points in the first quarter and 0 points in the fourth quarter. Now, another thing Seattle is going to have to do is use the run. Against the Lions, Thomas Rawls carried 27 times for a Seattle playoff record 161 yards. The Falcons are 29th against the run in the regular season, and opponents averaged 4.5 yards per carry against Atlanta. Another advantage of using the run will help keep Atlanta's offense off of the field, which can only benefit Seattle in the long run during this game. I have Seattle by 3 this weekend, Pete.
All right, there you have it. Erin with a 10-point win for Seattle in Atlanta. All right, switching gears now to the AFC, where my favorite guy, Tom Brady, and the Patriots are an overwhelming 16-point favorite over former Patriots offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien and the Houston Texans. Tell me, Erin, do the Texans stand a chance against these Patriots in Foxborough under the lights? Or is Vegas a little crazier than we all thought with an outlandish 16-point spread?
Well, Pete, I don't think 16-point spread is crazy at all. In fact, I think it's a little too low. Now, the Patriots are red hot right now. They finished 7-0 in the regular season game, and in that 7-0 run, they outscored opponents 200-87. Now, Tom Brady is Tom Brady. He's the golden boy. We all know he's good. Finished the regular season with the highest touchdown-to-interception ratio in the league ever. He only played 12 regular season games because of that suspension, and he threw for 67.4% completion rate with over 3,500 yards passing, 28 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Now, the defense is not to be overlooked. New England's D ended the regular season with allowing only 15.6 points per game, which was an NFL low. During the 7-game win streak, they also allowed a team to score 20 or more points just once, and they got 14 of their season total of 23 turnovers during those final 6 games. Now, Belichick is the X factor here. His only losing season came in his first season with the Patriots in 2000, and that was also the only season that Brady did not start a regular season game with him. New England has advanced to the Super Bowl 4 out of 5 times when they've had a home field playoff advantage, much as they do right here. I'm taking New England by 21 in this game.
Well, Erin, first I want to thank you for reminding us about the Deflategate. It just won't die. Second, thank you for reminding us again that the Patriots skirt the rules and the NFL doesn't ever seem to care. And Pete, did you just say that your favorite person was Tom Brady?
Favorite player.
Wow. You know what? I didn't have a lot of respect for you to begin with, but it is like negative respect. Is negative respect a thing? Because I'm making it a thing now because of you. Congratulations.
Not in Tom Brady's world.
Listen, guys. By the way, a lot of courage to pick the Pats at home in the playoffs. So appreciate that. All right. Listen, the Fighting Osweilers have a shot in this game, and I'm going to tell you why. Brock Osweiler, since coming back from being benched, has looked like a man on a mission. Just look at what he does with his number one weapon, DeAndre Hopkins. Now, Malcolm Butler's probably going to draw the assignment for guarding him, and in that matchup, I'm picking Hopkins all day long. Ball tracking skills and the ability to put his foot in the ground and change directions is second to none. I'm picking Hopkins and the Fighting Brock Osweilers to upset the sleeveless sweatshirts by 3 at Gillette Stadium. Petey.
Wow, Nick's hot take in the segment. He's taking the upset in Foxborough. As you can imagine, with Tom Brady being my guy, I'm taking the smart money along with Erin and taking the Patriots. But that's just 2 games. So after an action-packed first day, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers lead us off in Arrowhead, the first game on Sunday. The Chiefs are looking to get revenge on a 30-point deficit in Heinz Field earlier in the year. Nick, does your guy, Alex Smith, have enough firepower in that offense to overcome the talent of the Steelers and ultimately get revenge for that drubbing in late October?
Absolutely. I'm going to tell you why. Everyone thinks that because Alex Smith can't win you a game by himself, he cannot put a team on his back and take them to the Super Bowl means he's a bad quarterback. What happened to just being a serviceable quarterback? The fact that you can't win a game isn't the greatest, but the fact that you know that Alex Smith will not lose you the game, there's something to be said about that. Consistency at the quarterback position is what every team strives for, and Alex Smith gives that to you. Now, the Steelers, on the other hand, seem to never live up to the hype come playoff time. Big Benny, get this, 7 interceptions in the last 4 games. There's a stat for you. I don't trust the Steelers come playoff time. I don't think anyone else should either. Now, going back to the Chefs, Travis Kelce, my new man crush. Tyreek Hill is beast mode, running the ball and on special teams. Now, Pittsburgh might have a big 3, but so does Kansas City. And by the way, they also have a big 20,000 due to the home field advantage. Give me the Chiefs at Arrowhead by 7 over the Steelers.
Well, Nick, I mean, you think Alex Smith's underrated, but you know who's not underrated is Le'Veon Bell. And Le'Veon Bell is going to be the keystone piece of this Steelers offense. Against Miami, he set the Steelers' playoff rush record of 167 yards, and his career-high average game of 8 yards per carry came against the Chiefs earlier this year. He has a patient running style where he just waits for the offensive line to create holes, and he has a stable of has a great talent for creating lateral moves that throw off and confuse defenders. Now, Ben Roethlisberger, he had his best game of the year against the Chiefs earlier this year when they beat them 43-14. His ability to improvise in situations has improved greatly over the year, but he's playing semi-injured, so if he has to drop back in the pocket, that could create trouble for Big Ben and the Steelers as a whole. And let's not forget about Antonio Brown, the final piece of the offensive puzzle for the Steelers. He's got a whole lot of specialty moves, jabs, cuts, and he can save plays and make things happen when things are going sour. We saw that against the Ravens on Christmas Day when he caught that touchdown pass with 9 seconds left in the game to clinch the AFC North for Pittsburgh. He's left-handed, so there's also a catching advantage there too. Between Brown and Bell, they account for 42% of the Steelers' targets. I got Pittsburgh by 7 in this, Pete.
All right, thanks, guys. I'm looking forward to that one, tuning in at 1:05 Eastern on NBC to get things rolling on Sunday. And last but not least, America's Game of the Week, America's Team of the Year, the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Green Bay Packers in Jerry's World. Now, the NFC's number 1 seeds playing at home versus a banged-up Green Bay squad. That can only mean one thing, right? one step closer to Super Bowl number 6 for them Cowboys? Or can the Packers really compete, Erin? Or am I a little delusional here?
Oh, I absolutely think the Packers can compete. And right now, it's all about the white, smoking hot Aaron Rodgers. He is on a tear lately. In their last 7-game win streak, including last week versus the Giants, he's thrown 19 touchdown passes with 0 interceptions. And if you want to roll it back to the loss against the Redskins, that makes it 22 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. In the last 3 games, he's thrown 4 touchdown passes each. He's showing a great ability to dance around in the pocket and wait for one of his guys to get open. Sometimes it looks like he's playing Dance Dance Revolution back there. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Continuity on the offensive line helps Rodgers in this respect. Another offensive player you want to look at is tight end Jared Cook. Cook is tall and he pulls attention away from defenders, and this in turn makes Rodgers a better player when Cook's even on the field, much less when he's being targeted. He's got other offensive weapons in Geronimo Allison, who stepped in when Cobb got injured in the last 2 games, gained Rodgers' trust, so Rodgers has no problem going to him. And then, of course, there's Devontae Adams, who's having a career season this year. He had 75 catches for 997, almost 1,000 yards, and 12 touchdown passes. Another change that we've seen since the Packers last played the Cowboys is that Ty Montgomery has moved over to running back, so Dallas is going to have to adjust their game plan to take that change into account. I have the Pack by 10 here.
Erin, that was very thought out, very succinct. Thank you. There's some offensive linemen you forgot. You want to give us those stats too? No,
I'm set. I think I said my piece. Yeah.
No pancake block stats that you want to throw out there.
Nah.
Okay, listen. I can't argue with anything you said. There's no doubt the Packers are the hottest team left in the playoffs. Hot teams, when they get hot, win Super Bowls. Just ask Giants fans. Speaking of the Giants, we all saw what happened to them when they played Green Bay last week. That's not going to happen against Dallas. Giants had one of the best secondaries in the NFL, but when you don't have any pass rush, you just can't guard an NFL wide receiver for more than 10 seconds. You just can't do it. And there's no pass rush. Aaron Rodgers can sit back there, do his taxes, cook breakfast, and still find Randall Cobb back there in the end zone 12 seconds later. Now, again, not going to happen in Dallas. Aaron is not going to have that kind of time to sit back there and find him 10 to 12 seconds into the end zone. Oh, yeah, and I almost forgot. The Dallas offense. Just 4 words. Dak, Dez, Zeke, Witten. That's all I got to say. Give me them boys to win in the house that Jerry built over the Cheeseheads by 14.
All right, folks, and now you know why I call them the 2 biggest personalities in all of sports. So real quick, before we let you guys go, before we get you out of here, gonna take one last kind of hot take. Gonna ask our guys, our personalities here, what game they're looking forward to most. What's gonna be most competitive this weekend? What to watch for? Most intriguing matchup of the weekend. Erin, let's hear your pick.
Well, for me, it's all about that Packers-Cowboys game on Sunday night. To me, they see they're the 2 most evenly matched teams. And Dallas has been the toast of the town all season. And the Packers, well, they started out slow and they're banged up. But lately, they've been playing like they are on a mission from God. I am excited to see these 2 teams butt heads Sunday night.
It's a good pick. I think most of the country is going to want to watch that game. That's the game everyone's got circled. I'm going to go a different avenue, though. I'm going Chiefs and Steelers. Now, everyone knows what the Steelers bring to the table simply because they've been to the dance more. They've been to the playoffs more recently. KC is just kind of an unknown here. You don't really see him that much this deep into the playoffs. And I think people are going to be intrigued by that. It's going to be very intriguing to see them go up against the Big 3 with a good Chiefs defense. I'm going to watch this game, and like I said, I think Chiefs pull this one off.
All right, and that concludes this week's edition of Nick's Picks playoff version. Tune in again, guys. Thanks for joining me alongside America's Meatball, Nicholas Powell, and you know her for her outstanding mohawk, Erin Campbell. I'm your host, Pete Whitmer. It's been Second Take. Join in next week.